Welcome to another episode of the Birdie Golf Club podcast. And this week you're joining me talking to a very important guest, someone that I'd wanted to have on the podcast for a very long time since I heard his story. We're going to sit down and have a conversation with John Payton from SRV Golf, the creator of SRV Golf. And I won't go into too much of the reasons behind the brand name because I think it comes better and more eloquently from John himself. But it's incredibly important. They create golf gloves, which on the surface may not seem like something that is sort of worthy of an hour-long conversation, but you're going to understand from listening to John and his story and what led him down the road of creating SRV Golf, as to why it is so important. And we mentioned through the episode some charities, specifically cancer charities. So the links to all those are going to be in the description, as well as to SRV Golf as well. And go and show them some support, because I think it's an incredibly important cause, a cause which touches all of our lives. And I hope you enjoy the conversation that we have. Um, there's no housekeeping to be done. I'm recording this before the US Open, so I don't know who's won it. Perhaps we can talk about that next week. Busy week ahead of you.
Busy,
Um,
busy week, mate. It's
how do
always
you
busy though.
how do you find managing? Because obviously you got your sort of regular work alongside obviously SRV.
Yeah,
How do you find that balance?
you just don't stop, mate. That's the thing. I've throw a 3-year-old into the mix as well, and
Yeah,
so yeah,
now we're
no, I mean
talking.
it's genuinely just go to work. Usually on my lunch break, I'm going to the post office to send out orders, and then finish work, pick up my daughter, do a couple of hour shift looking after my daughter, and then straight up into the office and getting back to work or out and about and doing stuff. So it's hard, but it's just you just as long as I've got the drive for it, so
Yeah,
that's important. I just want to keep going and there's usually always something that I need to do anyway, so I've not got much of a choice to just sit around and leave it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Do you ever find like you struggle with the drive sometimes? Because I think like a lot of people see all these like Instagram posts of people like hard work pays off and all this sort of stuff, but behind the scenes, there's probably moments, right, where it's just
of course, mate. I mean, there's days where you think, there's obviously days where you're going, is this worth it? Is
mm,
like maybe you have a couple of days and there's not much happening or not much sales coming in, and you go, is this working? Is this right? But then you have some days and you're super motivated and you're just like, you can't wait to do the next thing. So
yeah,
it's just you just that's probably where a lot of people feel those when it gets hard and then you give up. But I'm just there's more. This is more than just this isn't for personal gain. This brand, so this is for me. There's a bigger thing
mm,
going on here. So that kind of keeps you going as well, So
yeah, yeah. So it takes it from being like a personal thing to being this sort of almost its own thing, right? So then it's sort of almost taking yourself not out of the equation, but making yourself at least smaller in the whole scheme of things.
yeah, I mean, like I've tried like some other side gigs and stuff in the past, but this one's just feels totally different. I feel like
Mm,
this one's really it just really means something, So
mm,
that really helps. That really helps with that.
yeah,
But also because I've had a couple of things not really go well, but I know myself as well. Those particular things I didn't put maximum effort into,
yeah,
whereas I feel like I'm putting as close to maximum effort into this as I
mm,
can anyway. So, but yeah, it's
yeah.
just
Because those things, like you said, that you've maybe tried before. Like some people think you just have to keep on. Like if there's a brick wall you're smacking your head against, you have to keep on doing it. But sometimes it's knowing when to like call it quits on certain things because it's just like it's not working. But obviously SRV, like we can get into the reasons behind SRV and why you started them, maybe in a bit. But the glove itself, um, could you talk to like the process of developing the glove and why it really stands out? Because I've been using the glove all this year and it 100% stands out like head and shoulders above the competition. So
Yeah.
how did you come up with the like, developing of the golf glove?
Well, it basically starts off with a lot of sampling and
Mm,
trying to find different products because obviously there are a lot of brands and there are a lot of products out there that you can get. You can slap a logo on and
yeah.
you can, call it yours and go for it. But which is probably what would have been ideal to begin with for
Mm,
us to do because it's obviously it'd be easier. But done a lot of sampling, a lot of testing, speaking to different golf pros, getting people that are far more knowledgeable or have far more experience than me in it and getting
mm,
their opinion. And it's basically a case of going, right, what are they saying is wrong with the glove, finding what's wrong or what the pain points are currently. So if you look at it right now, pain points I would say good gloves or big brand gloves or tour gloves don't last long enough. They cost too much money. Um, so that's two things straight away that you can go, right, well, how can we fix that? You
mm,
know? Um, so that's essentially what we did. So we managed to find a couple of different manufacturers, and then we basically put our own little design, our own kind of twist on the glove to try and give it a bit more strength, a bit more comfort. Um, and yeah, went from there. And then once we got a couple of them, we gave them out to the same people who had tore apart the first ones that we gave them,
mm,
and they were really impressed. And it's funny because the durability of the glove has really surprised us because we knew it was good, we knew it was stronger, it was going to last more than, for example, without naming other brands, that £23 glove that you get off the shelf. But
yeah.
we knew straight away that the grip was there because obviously when you're first testing something, you're putting it on, it's fresh, you're testing it, it's great.
Yeah.
It's not until we got further into that process and people are like, by the way, this glove's still working
Yeah.
great, this is still going. And yeah, so that's one of the things that probably did surprise us that because we did aim for durability, but we didn't think it would be this durable,
Of
to
course.
be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But of course, everybody's different, so you do get people that will just generally go through a glove quite quickly because of the way that the way they hold the club, how
Yeah.
how fast they swing, even the grips they're using and stuff can make a big difference. But yeah, the extreme durability isn't something that we had expected, but it was a nice surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Because what I was blown away by with the glove is, like you said, all new gloves when you get them, it's like, ah, yeah, like that's nice. And I like a tight fit on the glove as well, and that leads to obviously a lot of sort of ripping and stuff like that that tends to happen because you're stretching out the leather and I mean I'm still using the same glove from I think December, January. I like to change like if I remember I like to change after 9 holes. I saw that as one of your tips as well when it comes
Yeah,
to golf gloves, like, just good to do for the average golfer. But like although, they've got that nice bit of discoloration that you expect from a golf glove if you're using certain grips and dirty grips normally as well with me.
yeah,
Um, the grip is still there. There is absolutely zero signs of it ripping. Like it doesn't look like it's anywhere near that. And I had a friend who, again, we won't name brands, but was using a brand new glove and in the space of a weekend had massive rip.
yeah.
And we
Probably
have,
there.
yeah, right there, right
Yeah,
there. And we both hold the club exactly the same. And I was like, I'm good. I'm good. And this one was already worn in like beforehand, So
yeah.
like you said, durability. I mean, how do you know unless you're like doing some crazy science lab style sort of like robot thing, right?
We were actually going to do that. One of the things that we were talking about doing for content was we were going to get like two cars, tie a glove to each car, and have them drive separate opposite directions, and just see and try and like measure how far it would go before they would break. We've not got round to it,
That sounds like a good one.
but
That
yeah,
sounds like a good one.
talking about mad science experiences, that's one of the things that we're going to do.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, like you say, it's one of those things that it took a lot of time for us to go, well, these are actually because a lot of people. I was actually speaking to someone earlier, and they were saying how long does it last, and I'm like, well, it depends. It
yeah,
depends on. the person. It depends on how often you play. It depends on, like I say, how you grip the club. But from what we're hearing, I mean, Harry Rogan, who does the long drive, he wears
Mm.
our gloves. I think he's ranked in the top 30 in Europe, I'm sure.
Hmm.
I've met him a few times and watched him swing. But like for example, he's one of the examples that I use quite a lot because I met him around about this time last year. I met him and
Hmm.
he tried them out and he said yep, and he bought a bunch. And I messaged him about 2 weeks ago and said, "How are you getting on with those gloves, by the way? Like, are you needing another order?" And he's like, "Mate, I've only used one."
Yeah.
He's like, "I've
Yeah.
only used one." I think he'd only just opened the second one, like just recently for a new tournament. He was at a tournament last week, so
And that's a guy putting like a ridiculous amount of strain through that glove as well. Like
yeah,
that's more than the
yeah.
average user, right?
Yeah. I mean, he was using. Well, I won't name the brands. He was using a brand that you get in Costco, and
Yes.
which are decent gloves. But
Mm.
yeah, they were. He was getting the hole in the palm
Yeah.
after every couple of sessions, and that's one of the things you were saying. How do we go about making it better? One of the things was making sure that there is enough material in the palm so that it's not too thick that you're losing feel because that's one of
Mm.
the things that you get with the tour gloves, obviously, where you don't lose the feel, but still giving it that bit of strength there.
Yeah.
It's also to do with stitching and stuff, and
Yeah, I know it's just, especially for me, obviously in between the fingers with a tighter glove as well, there's just like again zero sign of it sort of splitting or
yeah,
anything like that. So I mean the glove works
yeah,
for me,
it works. Certainly does.
And it's got a name as well now.
It's got a new name. We just launched it. We thought it's about time we gave it a nice snazzy name.
Yeah.
So we called it SRV1. And I'm sure I mean, you might have seen the posts and stuff
Mm.
around it, but basically the idea behind that is this is the one glove that meets the needs of every golfer. This one glove is good for people who have just started playing golf. It's also good for professionals, touring professionals.
Yeah.
It fits everyone. It had those aspects to it that make it the perfect glove for everybody. So we just thought one because
Perfect.
what else? I mean, like I say, and it's also other things like the one that gives back, because obviously
Mm.
we're giving money to charity from everyone that's sold. So it's like the one
Yeah.
that gives back, the one that's there for you, all
Yeah.
of these things. But yeah, it seemed like a fitting name, and it got got a decent response, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. I loved it. I thought it just perfectly sort of like represents what the glove was made for and what the users that are meant to be behind it is essentially, well, everyone
yeah,
ideally.
yeah,
And
that's it.
and obviously SRV as well, we can sort of get to that. I mean, I'll let you explain what SRV stands for and also what follow on with maybe what led you down to the road of obviously coming up with this brand as well.
Yeah. So we'll start off with SRV. So SRV stands for Strength, Resilience, Virtue. And it's the characteristics that my mum showed during her cancer battle and throughout her life, but more so during her cancer battle because it's
Mm.
really what inspired me to kind of start the brand, or it's what inspired the brand to be what it became.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's strength, resilience, virtue, and it's just all down to my mum essentially.
Mm.
She was incredibly strong and obviously. But
Mhm.
she was incredibly strong and resilient. And at first, I was trying to play about with because I didn't really want to go down the kind of acronym
Mm.
thing. I wanted to give it a name, but I kept just at that time the words that were kept coming to my head were survive and
Yeah.
strive, and I was like you're not surviving, you're striving. Type. I was kind of playing about with that,
Yeah.
but then obviously the three common letters in those words were SRV. So I had a kind of play about with that. And then I was like, well, what else does it, what other words could come from SRV? And it was that. And I landed on there. So
Yeah.
yeah, it made sense. As soon as I got it, I was like, yep, that's it. That's what it's got to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you explained it to me, it just, yeah, completely. resounded with what you said there, with what your mum showed, with the strength and resilience and virtue she showed throughout her life, but obviously with her battle of cancer, is what you see. It seems to be a story that people share as well with sort of loved ones that they've watched, fight that battle.
Yeah,
They always people who have cancer and are battling cancer seem to always put themselves last,
yeah.
and it's so busy caring for those that are around them, watching them deal with it. It's just it's unbelievable, isn't it? The strength that people show, like your mum.
It is. I mean, you always think, you know, unless you're in that person's shoes, you don't know how it feels, of course. But
Mm,
I mean, you always think, oh God, like how can you manage it? But there's something, especially, I mean, I can only really speak on the experience with my mum, but with my mum, she was always kind of caring for other people and putting other people first anyway. But like even more so at
mm,
that point, because there's just something that came over her where she was more worried about how we were going to cope if she's not here rather than thinking about what would happen if she's not here. So,
mm,
and it's crazy what it does. And one of the kind of the same day that I actually decided that the brand was going to be what it was she was in the not the hospice, but she was in the Beatson, which is a cancer hospital in
mm,
Glasgow, and it was the first time she'd been in there. So this was when it was kind of starting to get serious, and my mum had been away on holiday at the time, and while she was on holiday, she always managed to squeeze in a holiday if she could. Everyone told her not to go; she wasn't fit for it, but she went, and she actually jumped off a boat into the sea and had to get lifted back out with a crane. So that's what I mean by strength and resilience. She's
Yeah.
like she's determined. She's like, I'm getting in that water one way or another. Even if you need to lift me out with a crane, I'm doing it. I'm living my life. But yeah, so basically, whilst she was on that holiday, she lost sight in her eye and she lost all her balance. And basically, it turned out the cancer had spread to her brain. So
Oh,
we'd just learned this, and she got sent into the Beatson, and obviously this was her now fully debilitated.
yeah.
She couldn't walk, she couldn't do anything really for herself after that. And at this point, I'm walking into the hospital, and I'm thinking, what am I going to see here? You know, like
Mm,
what's this going to be like? How's this going to feel? And as I'm walking into the hospital, the you need to buzz in the door, and I came in and the staff are like, "Oh, you must be Shirley's boy," and I'm like, "Wow," and she's like, "Oh, yeah, I've heard all about you and stuff," and I'm like, "Right." And then I walk in, and as I'm walking up, I can hear laughter and stuff, and I'm going, "What's going on?" I can hear my mum's daft laugh,
yeah.
and she's in the room with another person who's in a very similar situation, and usually you would expect maybe the curtain will be closed and
Yeah.
you just
Somber.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But no, I went in, the curtain's open, the two of them are sitting chatting. My mum's like, "Oh, right, come on, have a seat. Right, come on, John. This is this person, this is my son, John." But and she was just making making chat and making other people feel comfortable, and
Yeah.
it instantly kind of put me at ease as well.
Mm,
And but it was kind of that day that I decided, like, you know, this is what it's going to be because um at the same time, the staff and how friendly the staff were, and how caring they all were as well.
yeah.
And it just makes you think, like, some people are just incredible what they do for other people, and I wanted to try and contribute to that and see if there's a way that I can help. And this for me was at the time it is the best way that I can try and think to help by raising awareness, supporting it financially, supporting it, speaking about it,
Yeah.
and genuinely try to help anybody that I come across that might need the help if I can offer it.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And I know through the gloves as well that every glove that's bought, is it a pound, goes
yeah,
towards cancer charities.
yeah. So we've got four main charities that we support. Well, five actually, five, but there's four that we kind of started off with.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got Make Seconds Count, which is a secondary breast cancer charity.
Hmm.
They're UK wide, but I know they're probably more Scotland based.
Hmm.
And then we've got Macmillan.
Yeah.
Obviously everybody knows Macmillan. They're doing amazing work from anywhere from caring for people to research. So they're covering all bases.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, and then we've got a couple of mental health charities that we support as well. Um,
And they're so key, these charities, especially with, and I know often people go down the lines of a cure, which obviously we all are hopeful that there's
yeah,
a cure for what is just an evil disease,
yeah,
that hurts so many people. But I what I found, because my dad battled cancer for 12 years. He had leukemia
wow.
for 12 years, and what I found is that he wasn't looking for the cure to it, but just the help along the way, and just knowing that there's people that have experienced what he's experienced just takes away a little bit of the fear. And I don't know if that's maybe what you found with your mum as well, just that having that support network around her of these charities
Yeah,
and what they do.
massively. Because I mean, one of the ones that really means a lot to me is Make Seconds Count, because they are they were the first people that really kind of helped my mum, and that was where my mum met other people that were in the same situation.
Mm,
And of course, everybody knows the NHS is under a lot of pressure, and has been for a long time, and they're not able to do everything. But that's where these charities come in. They can come in and offer support in different ways. They can educate you in different ways, and you can
mm,
have real experiences with the people that are involved there,
yeah.
because they're all going through it, and they all basically come together. And that's one of the it's so important. Like, it's so
Mm,
important, because that thing, although it gave my mum knowledge and a sense of kind of community, but it just it gave her days out where she
yeah.
could go, and she could just spread the load with people that understood. Because I mean, of course, if it's my mum, and she comes home, there's things that she won't want to say to us as her
Of
kids,
course, yeah.
and her family. But in these environments, then you can really open up, and you can really, you know, be honest about how you're feeling, and
Yeah.
because you know that other people are sitting feeling the same way, and they're probably scared to say it.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, and that's why that Make Seconds Count in particular really mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
Um, I've even I've been to a few of their events and stuff, and I've met up with some of the people. And funnily enough, I went to an event last year, and when I was there, I kind of signed in. It was like a music festival type thing that they did, and when I was there, people were approaching me saying, "Oh, you must be Shirley's boy,"
Oh
and I'm
wow.
like, but it sums my mum up, because that's happened my full life. Everywhere I've went, someone's been like,
Really?
someone knows me and I don't know them. It's because they knew my mum, but yeah, so it was quite strange. It's
Of
quite
course.
strange seeing that, but no, these places are these charities are incredible, and there's loads, there's so many. Especially since I started doing this, I realised how many different charities there are that are doing similar things, all for different particular reasons. This one is just for secondary breast cancer, so
Right.
you know, um, I'm sure there's plenty that are doing them for different types of cancer and different things, and there's just they can't get enough support, because for me they do the work that of angels, the work of angels, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, it just that comfort that it brings and that ability to be able to share experience is important in all aspects of life, but especially at a time like that.
Yeah,
And what you said, I think, will resonate with a lot of people that, whether they're currently battling cancer right now or someone they know is doing it, that sometimes they don't want to take down a sort of guard or whatever it may be to open up to ones they're trying to protect. And I think I saw that with my dad. That there were times when he would open up a little bit about it, but maybe I would be closed off
yeah.
because and yeah, I was trying to think how old I was. 14, I think I was 14 when my dad was first diagnosed with leukemia, and I didn't know how to deal with that. I don't know about you with your mum, and because it was secondary uh, breast cancer. How old were you when it first all started?
When she got diagnosed, I was, God, 24, 25
Right.
when she
Yeah.
when she first got diagnosed. But my sisters are 10 and 11 years younger than me.
Sure. So
So
thereabout.
that, like, so they were, whatever age that makes them. I can't do
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
maths
Yeah. It
that
was
quick.
similar age to what I was essentially, and you just
Yeah.
how on earth do you know how to deal with that at that age? You know, it's crazy. I mean, even at 24, 25,
Yeah, exactly. It's
it's no
no,
age to start dealing with the idea of losing someone like that to you. It's just, yeah.
I know, especially I mean yourself at 14. I mean, like that's hard, mate. That's hard, and
Mm.
I seen it myself with my sisters, and I think it did really affect because obviously they were just in high school, and
Mm.
I think it did really affect them. And it gave them a really did give them a different upbringing because before my youngest sister before she was 18, she was caring for my mum full time pretty much,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
and for a period anyway. And
Mm.
it's that sort of stuff that myself, luckily I escaped all that until I
Mm.
was, in my early 20s. But I don't know how I could have dealt with that. I don't know how I could have dealt with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think my dad was fortunate in the fact that the leukemia he had was I think it's acute
Right.
leukemia, so it's the slower progressing leukemia. So although we saw sort of like signs of issues there being, but I guess from that point then your mum and dad are always like the sort of the invincible sort of like idea that they're always gonna be there and you won't have to deal with that until later in life. So the idea of losing one of them um is just is a strange thing. I think it's such an unnatural thing to have to deal with, especially at that age. Um, and and I think, like we're saying, the guard being up, whether it's for them or for you at the
Yeah.
time, that's when those places come in and help massively. I heard from someone I met, um, who I'd known, but I didn't know the whole story because basically his son had been diagnosed with leukemia and they didn't really talk too much about it. And then it wasn't till I'd seen them recently, and he's fine now. He fortunately
Right.
recovered, and everything was great. And he was like, "Did you know your dad came down and saw him whilst he was in the hospital?" And he's like, and spoke with him, sat with him for like 2 hours, just talking and talking about everything. And I had absolutely no idea that my dad did stuff like that. But I don't think
Yeah.
that would have happened without connections being in place, like the charities that we're talking about, and the ability to be able to talk about it as well and know how to even put that across. I think his son was maybe a teenager when he was diagnosed, maybe younger, and to know that those systems are in place is such a as comforting as it can be to deal with something that's just horrendous.
Yeah. I mean, like without that and without some of the care, because you go when you go to the hospital and you get a diagnosis like that, they don't
Mm,
they don't come home with you and then
no,
talk to you. It's okay, here's your diagnosis, and then you get a letter 6 weeks later telling you what appointment you've got and what medicate. Obviously you get a brief, but the NHS and stuff, they don't have the facilities to do all these
no,
things, but it's so important. It is so important, like you say. I mean, and your dad going and doing that, that's amazing. Like that's his way of. I mean, that's selfless from him as well.
mm,
Taking time out himself to go and make someone else feel better, and that's. I mean, I can see it because I see that you've got that kind of spirit in you as well. From conversations we've had previously. So yeah, but no, but that's amazing. I mean, it's amazing that things like that are there,
mm,
although it's horrendous that they need to be.
yeah.
But
All we can do is I didn't know your mum obviously, but I can hear from the way you speak about her and the stories that you had that she impacted, clearly impacted so many people's lives. Like
yeah,
before she had cancer, obviously as well, 'cause she sounds like she was a lot of fun. But
yeah,
also when she had the cancer with the positivity, and then like we were saying, the strength, resilience, virtue that she showed, have then continued to impact people's lives. Which is just special, isn't it? At the end of the day, my dad was a bit of a different character. He was he was normally the quietest one in the room, but just because he wasn't the most social of people, he sort of like it was quite closed in that way. But when he did say something, it was like pretty normally pretty decent. So you sort of listen
yeah.
up, and
And
yeah,
yeah, I know exactly what you mean. The kind of. not the loudest in the room, but everything he says is gold type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, some bronze came out as well at certain times, but he was good like that, and I think that everyone listening will resonate with the fact that there's been someone that I know that have sort of almost just shown a complete example of how to deal with trials like that at the end of the day, and the fact that you've been able to turn that into something now that gives back to those charities that clearly helped along the way with your family and your mum dealing with this. And now you can give back to it and also give to the golfing community in the sense of something that has been missing, something that,
Yeah,
people, not that there's a void, but in the sense of that, are we okay with what's currently available?
yeah.
That sort of idea, and you've grown that.
But one of the things is like golf. How often do you hear that? How often do you hear about charity golf days?
Oh, so many,
Right, and
so many.
there's not. I mean, I'm pretty sure some of the big brands will give money to charity, but there's none that are dedicated to it or really champion it.
Yes, yeah,
And like, I just thought if we can get a premium, really good product that people love, but we can create a brand
yeah,
that dedicates itself to actually helping people and trying to spread kindness and spread awareness. You know, there's clothing brands that are um purely for mental health or purely for this and purely for that, and that's kind of what we're trying to do, but without degrading the product, because you do see some things where they'll some brands will maybe have like a particular item of clothing
yeah.
that's, but then you
Certain
look at,
color or whatever it might be. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, but then you look at it and you go, well, it's a bit. I mean, you wouldn't really want to wear it. It's not enhancing your performance, or it doesn't look great. But my kind of idea was, why can't we have quality style as well as
yes,
having the charitable side,
yeah,
and having a bigger purpose? Because none of the brands, one of the things, like when I started playing golf just after kind of just after lockdown
hmm,
is when I started playing golf, and genuinely, the first time I played golf, I was like, wow, I love this.
yeah,
I loved being outside. I loved the fact that you could go with your mates for 4 hours,
yeah,
and it's just you switch off from everything else. And at the time, I needed to switch off. I was dealing with work and all the other life stresses, but I was also and I was dealing with my mum's situation,
yeah,
and never really knew where to put it. But just going on the golf course it just gives you that time to think, even if it's just, you hit your drive and you walk 150 yards. So
Come on, give yourself 200. You can have
like
200.
200 then. But you've got 200 yards there to walk and
Yeah,
take in what's going on, switch off, think about your shot, so that there's so many benefits to it. There's so many benefits to it, and that's kind of what made it kind of click for me. I just realized, I'm like, why is no one really talking about how good this is for your head?
yeah.
And how, like, from what I've seen anyway, no one's really talking about it. Even now, I mean, in terms of content creators and stuff, there's not that many that I see that are really talking about it, like
The
really
psychological
talk.
benefits of just getting out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like some are talking about it, but not really talking about it. And
Mm,
um, so I just thought as well, like I'm starting to play golf, and then I'm like, right, I need to get this, need to get that. What brands do I like? Because I know what clothing brands I like, but
mm,
with golf, I was kind of like, well, I kind of like the look of this one, kind of like the look of that one, but nothing that made me feel a certain way. Like I always attributed clothing to my music taste,
hmm,
different things like that, and there was nothing in golf that was screaming out to me that made me feel a certain way, and the way that golf made me feel, there was certainly nothing talking about that. So I thought,
yeah.
I'm going to be the one to do it. I want to be the one that does it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
that's
where.
the idea, and here we
Yeah,
are.
and works perfectly. I mean, I couldn't agree more about the idea of like golf. I played a lot. Like I played a bit when I was younger, and then I sort of stopped like most people do, and I played the odd bit of football and stuff like that. And then about 3 years ago, sort of decided to just stop playing football. Like injuries and just not worth it. Just not worth it anymore. I'm not as good as I was when I was like 20. So it's like, right, just finish, stop. And took back up golf again. And I just had that feeling of like, oh, why did I ever stop? Like, this is the best way to one, like you've said, the headspace, like to
Yeah.
just the idea that you're committing to like 4 hours as well. Like obviously
Mhm.
people like playing nine and whatever it may be, but proper 18 whole round, committing to those 4 hours. And the idea of golf is to empty your mind as best as you can to be able to play your best golf. And such an important thing. It's essentially um like a fun version of meditation.
Yeah,
Like, isn't it?
exactly.
You know, it's like all the things you'd want to do if you were doing like a meditation course or whatever it might be is is what golf provides, but also with your mates where you can have a laugh, you know, at each other's score or whatever it may be. This episode of the Birdie Golf Club podcast is brought to you by Birdie Golf Designs. I've been using Birdie Golf Designs irons for just over a month now, I believe it is, and they are transformative. I love a bladed iron, and to be able to play a cavity back bladed iron that is buttery smooth when it's hit is just ideal for all levels of golf, in my opinion. I think we should all start using bladed irons because I think you should be have that feeling of a little bit of pain when you hit a bad shot. I think that is quite important. But in all seriousness, there is a market, of course, for cavity back blades, but I personally love bladed irons. And these are incredibly affordable, high end bladed irons. So just go over and check them out now. Birdie Golf Designs. They're available. You have a look on them on Instagram. I think if it's shop.birdiegolf.com, you'll be able to find a set that really fit your game. So go and check them out now. Use code podcast25 at checkout and you'll get 10% off your order. Thank you so much to Birdie Golf Designs for sponsoring this episode.
Yeah.
And that's just beautiful. And obviously where you are in Scotland as well, you're pretty blessed with some pretty beautiful golf courses as well, which probably helps. Where's your local? What's your local? What's your go-to?
Well, I'm rarely playing golf at the minute, but
Yeah.
I've got a couple that I go to. Just one's Deer Park, which
Okay.
is in Livingston.
Hmm.
My father-in-law's a member there, so we go there. But to be honest, I always kind of dart around. I don't really
Yeah.
stick to one. I always try and play a different course every time if I can, because there's so many here. But like the most recent one I played was a course called Glen Bervie.
Okay.
Place called Falkirk. That was really, really nice.
Mm.
But previous to that, it was Royal Troon, which was a treat. That was a treat. And I mean, like you say, we're embarrassment of riches of courses here,
Of
and
course, yeah.
where I live just outside Glasgow, I'm less than an hour to all the good Ayrshire courses. I'm less than an hour to St Andrews.
Right.
So it's yeah,
It's all right. It's all right. You
yeah,
know,
it's all right. It's all right.
it's fine.
We can live with it. We can live with it, mate. We can live with it. But
That's amazing. I mean, what a place to be surrounded by. But I agree with you. I I feel like being a member at a course is fine. Like obviously it's convenient, but I don't think it necessarily one makes you either a better golfer because you just get used to the same course over and over again. And
yeah,
two, like, what are we doing this for? We're doing it for like the views. And you might live next to the most beautiful golf course in the world. Eventually, you're just going to get used to the view. But if you go and like go and visit
different
places,
courses. Yeah,
take it in, like it's an unbelievable. I took my wife, right? So me and my wife went on like a little spa, like golfing sort of thing, and and she's not interested in golf, like in the slightest. But I said to her, look, I've hired a buggy. You come out and drive it. Like that'll be you'll have fun doing that. And she's like, okay, let's do that. So she came out with me, and she was like, this is beautiful. I was like yeah, like it's a basically like a park that has golf in it, essentially. Like, what did you think it was going to be? She's like, I don't know. I thought it was just going to look way more like built up than this. I just didn't,
uh-huh.
you know. She's like, we're just in the woods. This is unbelievable. I'm like, yeah, this is why I like it. The golf's good sometimes as well.
Exactly, exactly. But like you say, like in terms of going to different courses and stuff, because that keeps it fresh and it keeps it interesting. And it's like you say, the views, especially in Scotland, some of the courses we've got here have got amazing views and
Yeah, yeah.
mountains in the background and stuff. And aye, it's amazing. But when I first started playing, we were finishing work at 4 o'clock, nipping up to the kind of local 9-hole golf course,
Hmm.
and genuinely we played it every Thursday and sometimes every Sunday morning. And but honestly, after like a few months, I was like, I'm sick of this place. And
Yeah,
it's a nice little course, but I did get bored of it. I get sick of it. I was like, I want to go somewhere else. So I've just kind of stopped going there, and
yeah,
I try and just dart around, but
yeah.
just to get that just to get that nice fresh feeling with it.
I'm saying, yeah, I'm gonna eventually have like uh, I'm gonna put a map here in the office, I think, and just have like a load of the. It doesn't even have to be like top 100 golf courses. It can be like I saw a list the other day. It was like top 100 under 40 quid.
Right?
Like some of those are really nice golf
Yeah, yeah.
courses that just don't really get as much exposure because they don't have the budget for it or whatever. And just like to tick them off one after the other. I'm not really interested in going. I do have one course here, Seaford Head, that's right near my home, and it's right on the coast, and it has like an 18th with like a 80-foot drop par five off the cliff top with the sea
Nice.
to the left. I mean, it's a great place to play golf, and it's year round good because it's chalky, so it's good all year round. So I play there probably the most out of anywhere. But I like to just go and travel like you. I think it's just way more fun to do.
Some of the thing, the reason that golf is the best game in the world, right, is because, right, first of all, right, what other sport can you competitively play with three generations
Hmm.
of family, right? For example, that's one of like the coolest things I think, that you can go and play with someone who's in their 80s, who's someone who's not even who's a teenager or not even a teenager. It's
Yeah,
amazing, right? One of the other things is when you go somewhere and you meet new people and you're like, oh, you speak to someone, if you even catch a little glimpse of like a golf polo shirt or like anything, and you're like,
you
let's
play.
talk. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
talk, guy. You play, aye, aye, and then that's you. You've got a friend. It works at weddings when you go to a wedding as a plus
yeah.
one, and you sat at the table and there's a golfer sitting next to you. You're like, brilliant, sorted, new best friend. But aye, it's amazing, and then like you say, being able to tie it in with taking your wife away for a weekend and be like, oh, by the way, I've booked us a nice hotel
Yeah,
on the golf course. My wife's the same. She doesn't like golf. I've tried and tried and tried to get her
yeah.
to come out. She came out when I first started the brand. She came out because I was like, right, we need to get content, and I've nobody to film, and I don't know what to film, and I didn't know what to do. And she came out, and she didn't enjoy it because I was I I wasn't a very good golfer at the time. I'm still not great, but the content wasn't working. But it wasn't because of her. It was just because of me. But
You're
seriously, I
like, not
think
that one, not that one.
yeah, I might have put her off that time just because of how often we had to keep retaking it, and then how often we spent looking for balls that I lost. But it's just it's the greatest game. Like I say, it brings people together, and
Yeah.
you know it's done wonders for me. But it's something also that like you say, you're talking there about, I'm going to make get a little collection of like this. There's so many challenges, there's so many things to
Oh,
obsess
yeah,
over, and
yeah,
so many people as well. Like you're saying, you kind of stop playing football, then you get into golf, and you're like,
yeah.
why didn't I do this before?
Uh,
And it's amazing, and that's probably what happens to a lot of people that do play football because they want to, the football dries up or it takes too much a toll on the body. Then you realise, wait, I can go and play golf for 40 years.
yeah.
Sign me up,
Oh, it's a
you
sport
know?
that just never stops. I mean, like, as long as you
Exactly.
can get out there and you don't even have to walk eventually. Do you know what I mean? You
Exactly.
can just you get a buggy or get a little ride on and just out you go and play golf. I mean, it's all Gary Player was at Manning's Heath down near me the other day. He's
All
90.
right.
He's 90 now, Gary Player.
That's
And he
insane.
can still do a high
Oh,
kick and swing a golf club like perfectly fine.
he's
Looks
so good. He's so
looks
good.
unbelievable still.
I know one of someone I know was, I think they were down, he might have been somewhere else, but they managed to get a signed glove off him,
Right.
which is cool, which is cool.
Absolute
But
legend of the game.
exactly, it's amazing. And like, I mean, when I went and played Royal Troon, I mean, you meet some characters as well.
Yeah.
When we get invited out to play Royal Troon by these guys who are so nice, such nice guys, they were amazing. and invited us out, and it was a guy and his dad, and his dad was I was playing in the floorball with his dad, and it was amazing. Like the history lesson that we got.
Yeah.
He took us all the way around, like and all the back doors and stuff at Royal Troon, all the little secrets about different things. It was amazing,
It's
but it
amazing.
was so funny. And I think if I remember right, I'm sure he said he was 82 or 83. But oh my God, could this guy get out a bunker? And
Yeah.
if you've seen the bunkers at Royal Troon, I mean, this
Yeah.
guy was there
Famous
was
for it, aren't they?
it wasn't oh honestly it was incredible. And just all the little quirks, like he'd chip one up like within 4 feet and he would be like, ah, duffed it. Just and it's so funny. Just all the characters that you meet as well. It's brilliant. It's like I
Yeah.
say, it's the best game in the world because there's you wouldn't get that experience playing football. You wouldn't get that
Yeah.
experience playing any other support. You're usually playing with people who are similar level to you.
Yeah.
But golf, you can be playing with someone that's +5, and then or someone that's just started, and you
Yeah.
just equally get just as good an experience. So
It was
it's
his
amazing.
Scotty Scheffler was saying he had to play someone when he plays a scratch at his local, he has to give him 12 shots or something. As a scratch, it's like, what?
It's insane.
That's not even golf at that point. If you're giving someone 12 shots,
I
you're like,
know.
what? You really can't be swinging this same club I am. Like,
No,
no way.
I know. I know. It's just not fair. I don't understand how these guys can do it. Like robotic, because I
Yeah.
mean, you know yourself. You go to the range, or you're hitting it well one day, and then you just hit a bad shot, and you seem to forget everything that you ever knew about
Yep.
golf. But
Yeah.
these guys are just so locked in, and even when you see them, they have a horror hole. I can't remember who it was, but I seen someone yesterday that shot an 11 or a 12.
Matthew Pavon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what he shot in the hole after that, but I bet you it wasn't any more than a double bogey. So,
And he was on Twitter afterwards detailing how he shot a 12. He's like, this is how you shoot a 12 and like making light of it. It's just like
yeah,
I'm not resurfacing for like a while after that, you know, like
if I hit the ball in the water 3 times in the one hole, I did it at Troon. I lost a ball off the tee. I then lost the set. I then dropped a shot, lost that ball, and then the next one I bladed it somewhere over the green, couldn't find it.
hmm
And then off and I just went, picked the ball up, and then I
Yeah.
walked for
See
three
you on the
holes.
next.
I just walked for 3 holes. I
Oh
didn't
no.
even play for 3 holes because I like I was
Head's
learning to
gone.
calm down. Yeah, and because I was playing with guys that were really good as well. I get really,
Sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I had a guy. We went on a golf trip the other weekend, and I've made a decision that I'm gonna get a plaque made, and to have it put at this. It was up in Gloucester, and it was a place called Rodway Hill. It's just like a nice little stay and play. And he got to the seventh hole, and it's a par five, but it's quite a gettable par five, but
Mm.
it's all out of bounds on the right and just tree lined. And he hit three in a row off the tee, out of bounds, right. And he was having a mare of a day, bless him. And he turned around, and it was the best quote of the weekend. He went, I just really want this to be fun. So I'm gonna get a plaque made for next year when we go back. I just really want this to be fun, Nick, and just put it on one of the little trees in the right because they'll never find it. I'm just gonna have it
Aye,
put there.
definitely. No, it should be like the trophy for whenever you play, like whoever finishes last.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
the
just
trophy,
really
and
want it
you
to be
keep it
fun.
until someone else finishes last the next time.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
my go-to for that is always the Peter Griffin one from Family Guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is fun. We're having fun. That's that's my go-to, and I do see it every round. But it's
Yeah.
it's funny. Like see it at Troon as well. The first tee box, you've got the beach on the right,
hmm
and there was loads of people on the beach that day, and we were there. There was two four balls, and we were all teeing off together. I was in the first group. I didn't want to go first,
No.
and one of them said to me, "On you go," and I says, "No, no, 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 I'm too nervous." And then so probably because I did that, the nerves kicked in more. So when it came to me, there's 7 other lads watching me tee off, and the guy I was talking about is his quote as he says, "John, remember on the right." Is oh no, as I said, he says, John, remember on the left is Scotland, on the right is out of bounds. He's like, hit Scotland. I was
Yeah.
like, God. So of course I put one on the beach.
Oh no. Is it
But,
playable on the beach? Can you technically go down and hit your next shot, or is it just full out of bounds? What's the ruling?
I think it's fully out of bounds. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean
yeah.
technically, yeah, you could jump over and get to the
Yeah.
ball, but you'd probably be hitting in between a family that have got a bucket and spade, and
Hey, they chose to
you
be
know,
there. You know,
well,
if they
exactly.
if
Yep,
they weren't familiar with your game, then that
yeah,
is on them. That's what I would say.
exactly. They should have listened to the foreshout.
What sort of handicap are you at now, John?
I'm 18.2 just now.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's a big leap, though, isn't it? From like I was saying to a mate because he was sort of trying to set expectations of what to expect in his first year. I'm like, you're going to make the biggest leaps in golf in the first year because it's a huge leap being like a high handicapper getting down
Yeah.
to your 20 and below. Like that's a huge leap, that bit, and the rest of it is incremental after that. So you obviously already made that leap. Where do you getting super golfy now? Where do you think lets you down in your game? Where's just
Um, I mean, like probably most people in my position, it's different every round I play. Like
yeah.
for so long, my driver was the only consistent club I had in the bag.
Hmm.
I knew I could hit it at least 220 straight.
Yep.
But what happened this year was my driver just gone. It was
Right.
just gone, and but I've kind of fixed that now a little bit. But the my weak points were always short game, putting,
Right.
chipping. It was always that was always my the weakest part of my game. Like I could always get up and around the green within to be within greens and regulation. I could always get up there. It was just trying to direct the ball in the hole after that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I've had a few lessons, online lessons and a couple in person, and it's really helped. And again, I've been down that Dangrave rabbit hole recently, so my short game has been getting better. But
yeah,
the problem I've got, to be honest, mate, is I've not got a lot of time out on the course, and quite often there's maybe 2 weeks in between me being on the course.
yeah,
And sometimes even at the range, like right now, I've not even swung a club in the last 2 3 weeks just because it's been crazy busy.
yeah.
But I find myself getting into that rhythm. And when I
Hmm.
first when I first started playing, I quickly got to about 20.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, sorry, about 21, kind of down to like 19, and kind of quickly got there. But that was when I was, like I say, I was going out every Thursday, every Sunday playing. Um, but after that, funnily enough, everybody says that when you work in golf, you don't play golf.
No,
So, since my daughter was born and since the business started, then
yeah,
there's just not been enough rhythm for me to really get going. But I think the improvements I've made with my coaching stuff, like I think I can see myself. Well, I could see myself if I could get regular golf in every week. I could see myself taking
yeah,
a bit of a leap. But my kind of main aim is to just try and make sure I don't shoot over 94, 95, and
yeah,
I'm happy. But obviously playing different golf courses every week does make it quite
yeah. It makes
hard.
it so much harder. Yeah, yeah,
But
100%.
but
Yeah,
it's good. But it's probably why I'm 18 as well. Because I think if I just played the one course,
yeah.
going to get similar scores, and you're not really challenging yourself. Whereas I think,
They get found
no,
out. Those people. They get found out. Take them somewhere new.
yeah, exactly,
That's what to do. That's what to do.
exactly. What about yourself? How you playing just now?
Yeah, so I'm same spot as you basically. I've got two young ones. I've got a 8 year old and a 4 year old. So like weekend golf for me is like a no. Like, and I don't even approach it
Yeah,
because I mean I do this on a Monday night. Like this is all every Monday night. This takes up the whole time. And Fridays or a Wednesday tend to be when I can possibly play, but I've got my normal business to run and it's tricky. So I play. I try and schedule in around every couple of weeks if I can. But it can stretch to 3 weeks. I mean, I think I wouldn't have played for 4 weeks, and I'm playing this Friday in like a little Stableford competition that a mate of mine's organised with like 27 of us.
nice.
Yeah, but it's a nightmare because I'm going in technically as the lowest handicap there, so I'm not going to stand a chance.
Ah,
Like,
right.
no way. There's some bandits that are going to be there.
Bandits.
It's going to be shocking. I
Bandits.
know it is. And I'm pretty sure, like, there's a mate of mine that put himself down for a 16. I'm like, not sure on that one, but so I'm at 10.2 at the
Nice,
moment. But that was
nice.
only literally because the golf trip I went on, I shot a 78, which was like my best round ever. Like the
Wow.
stars aligned, things were happening, ricochets off trees, things were just working out. So
Members bounce to call it.
members bounce. I mean, I literally got a new putter that weekend, and it was unbelievable. If you haven't already, check out like runner putters. Like
Right, okay.
they've just done pretty well in my golf spy testing. Came second, and they honestly, I couldn't believe it. Like game changer for me because I'm a pretty dreadful putter, so that was big. But yeah, 10.2 at the moment. I'd like to get down to single figures, but it's just a case of consistency, like of regularity of playing, and you know,
Yeah, well, I mean, they say that kind of it all comes in tiers, doesn't it? Like
yeah,
10 down to like 5 is hard, but then like kind of 5 down to scratch is like seriously hard.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, yeah,
I've got I've got a mate who's a 5, and I really desperately want to. Like, I feel like I can catch him up. It might be misplaced confidence, but I feel like I can catch him up without playing as much golf as him, and that would be a real flex if I can do that.
oh yeah,
Just
definitely, definitely. Well, it's a good target to hit anyway.
yeah, exactly. I mean, shooting in the 70s consistently would be really nice. So hopefully that can be there, but who knows, mate? I mean, this game, who knows, right?
I know. It's funny because like when I'm playing, I'm like 9 times out of 10, I'm always playing with people who are like better than me,
Sure, yeah,
far better than me. Like obviously some of the guys are kind of off scratch or below 5 or even just like the kind of 7 to 12 handicappers and they're all better than me. But I don't know whether it helps or hinders me because I think I end up trying to play to their game. And
yeah,
it sometimes so like I remember I was playing with Pingett a while back, he's scratch,
yeah,
and he kind of caddied me through. And I remember I hit a shot and I like caught the edge of the green and I was like, I was raging because I wanted to give myself like a tap in, and he was like,
yeah,
mate, you're an 18. Like he's like, you've just hit the green, like you've hit the green with an iron, like that's good. Like
yeah. That's a win. Yeah,
yeah, like that's a win. And I was like, oh, okay.
like
And, you know,
reframing it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And it's just like try to, and I think that's something that will probably help me because I think my mindset around how I'm playing's changed a lot. I've always tried to be like, no, I should hit the club that gets me. Whereas being a bit more tactical, trying to think your way around the course, I think is it's helped me recently anyway.
that's
Um,
what helped with the 78. I just done the episode with Scott Fawcett from Decade Golf.
right.
And his is all about game management and being realistic and setting realistic targets. And then I'd also learnt about the quiet eye technique, which is like putting a little dot on your golf ball and just staring at that, especially on your tee shots and putts. And if you're lucky enough for it to be sitting upwards as you get to it on the fairway, and just clearing your mind and just not worrying about swing or anything. So those two things. But the main thing for me was even on chips, like if I was like 10 yards off a green, I would always normally look at the pin. But generally, they've put the pin, unless it's like dead center of the green, they've normally put it in a spot to try and lure you into hitting it there, and you're going to end up in trouble. So I just literally just stared at middle of greens, just the fat of the green, the whole round. Didn't matter where I was, um, unless I was literally right on like the fringe or whatever.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would, I would just go for the middle of the green and find the flat putt and just aim for that area, and it made the game so much easier. I was blown away by it. I was like, why have I been like aiming at pins? Like that was a ridiculous thing to do. I'm not good enough to aim at pins. Like, of course, like just even on chip shots, I'm gonna thin one, and if I thin it and I've given myself more room, then it's gonna be all right. So that was my biggest takeaway from that.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
100%. It makes such a difference. Like I've not had too many rounds to really try it out, but just the last couple of times I've played, my score's been coming down, and I have been thinking a lot more like that. Like you
yeah,
say, just trying to pick, going for the middle rather than
yeah.
try to hit the perfect shot, and like even like don't try the flop shot, John. you cannot do the flop shot, John. Just bump and run it, mate.
Yeah.
Bump and run it, and just stuff like that. But I'm sure it'll all go to pot anyway
Yeah. Oh yeah,
on
I'm
the
gonna
next
shoot
one.
100 on Friday
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
100%.
I'm going in as lowest handicap. I'm gonna embarrass myself. Although I did just last week, when this comes out, last week just did an episode with Frankie Hardy, who's a young lad who he's 9, and his mum and dad came on with him, and he was unbelievable. I asked for tips. I was like, "You're a confident lad. Like, give me some tips." And he's like, "Go there like Jude Bellingham." That was his advice. He's like, "Imagine you're Jude Bellingham going into Real Madrid and your shoulders back, and you're the best player there." He's like, "Just go in with that mindset." So I'm like, "Okay." I'm gonna do it. So we'll see. We'll
Right.
see.
Yeah, but that's when you start aiming for pins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I do on Saturday. I was like, I've been trying to get away from that sort of mindset, but
Go in there like you're Pavon at that the hole after he shot
exactly.
11 or 12,
Yes.
whatever it was.
Yeah,
Is
the
that
round's already gone. Just
yeah,
just enjoy it.
just go in there to enjoy it.
But what was it Rory said? He just wanted to come off. Rory said that he just wanted to come off the course with a feeling. And if he
Mm.
came off with that feeling, then it was a good day, no matter what his score was. I think there's quite a bit in
Aye.
that for everyone, isn't there? At the end
No,
of the day.
that's it. That's it. I mean, like obviously we're talking about scores and handicaps and
Yeah.
improving games, but it's genuinely I've only started to kind of think about stuff like that recently. Genuinely just always been getting out playing to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And whatever the score is, as long as like you say, as long as I'm having a laugh or it serves me a purpose, clears my mind, passes the time,
Yeah.
whatever it is, that's essentially is more important for me. And I think that's probably something that which is why I'm I've not really improved that drastically
Mm,
since my first year of playing because
mm.
I've not really cared about it. It's not been about that for me. Uh,
Yeah.
although I want to start enjoying it more, but I want to enjoy it more by being good because I've enjoyed
Yeah.
it more by laughing at myself and I've been rubbish, but now I want to actually enjoy it by being good as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, right, enough of that now. Now I just want
Aye.
to enjoy it because I hit some nice shots occasionally. Yeah. Yeah.
Time to get serious.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, look, at least I know that when I'm playing, my glove is not going to let me down.
Well,
You
that's
know?
it. You can always count on that.
Exactly. Exactly, mate. So, listen, John, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast. This has been a long time coming. We've been trying to organise this for a while, haven't we? But you're a busy man, and like I'm not surprised because um SRV's growing in sort of the game, and I think I see more and more people now just talking about the glove, talking about the causes behind it as well, which is so important, and will resonate with so many different people. Thank you for sharing your story about your mum as well. Like, I had to sort of do a couple of sort of swallows of sort of holding back sort of, tears because the story just like like I said resonates so many people resonates with myself of just watching someone you love battling such a horrible thing, and then dealing with that afterwards as well. Obviously, the aftermath of losing a loved one is so difficult. The grief that comes with it. I remember somebody saying to me that, and it's such a good description. It's just hard to explain, but grief is like a button in a box, and the button never gets smaller, but the box gets bigger, and there's a ball that bounces around that box. And in the beginning, it hit
Yeah,
that button all the time, and it hurts so much. But over time, the box gets bigger and the ball doesn't hit it as often, but it still hurts the same every time.
yeah.
And that was the best description. It's a long-winded way of describing it. It's quite difficult, but I think it's the best description. I don't know if you agree with like,
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that, but totally it is because it is like a switch that just
yeah,
comes off, but it does time does help. It does go off less, but
yes,
like you
hurts the
say,
same.
it hurts exactly the same.
Yeah,
Totally,
yeah,
absolutely, mate, absolutely. And yeah, no, listen, thanks very much for having me on, and it's good, obviously, to share my story with yourself. And I know you've got your own story. I know we've kind of chatted about it
yeah,
before as well, and it just shows you there's so many people that are affected
absolutely.
by all of this. 1 in 2 people
Yeah,
get cancer,
yeah,
apparently. That's the figures that they're saying, and it's not about obviously we want a cure, but we need to do everything that we can to try and support and help people that are in that situation. And hopefully golf can do that
Yeah.
for more people.
And what you've done of taking that the experience and the grief and everything and turning it into this amazing thing that's raising money for charity and also doing a great job for golfers as well and raising awareness and everything you're doing is incredible, mate. So I really wanted you to come on to share that story with the listeners and to tell them just to go out there and to support SRV Golf, support those charities as well that we've spoken about. What was the one again that was most one of the one that really helped you?
Make seconds count. Make
Make seconds
seconds
count.
count. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Secondary breast cancer charity.
To head over to them and show them support. Macmillan as well. I'm hoping to do something towards the end of the year for Macmillan myself. I've got an idea of doing a 24-hour simulator challenge. Yeah, yeah. That'll put the glove to a real test.
Oh well,
Um,
yeah, certainly will.
but that'll be for Macmillan and maybe also every second counts as well. I can do it for both of those would be great. So I'll be in touch about that anyway, John.
Yeah, no problem.
Some help setting that up. But yeah,
Sounds good.
thank you so much for coming on, John. I really appreciate it. We'll have to do it again at some point
Definitely,
when you're
mate.
down to scratch, yeah. Do it then.
Right, shout me in 3 weeks then. No, thanks very much, mate. Cheers.
I appreciate it, John. Thanks, mate.